spinning. Let's see what happens. Oh goodness, it could go either way. You guys know it just is what it is. Ooh, it looks like it went already. Okay, that was exciting. So I am grabbing some oils right now to put on. I've got my Endoflex. I'm gonna get that going on. As you come in, let me know what oils you are putting on. I have my Endoflex both in a topical and I also have it in a Vitality. So right now I am putting it on topically. I am also putting on a little bit of Frank. Got that going on. Good stuff happening. And I am putting on some lemongrass. If you're not real familiar with lemongrass, it is a warmer oil. So when you are using it topically, make sure that the first time you use it, put it somewhere where it doesn't get too hot first. Like I like it along my neck and my jawline in there. But if you're not used to it, it might be a little bit warm for you. So you can try it anywhere. Phenomenal on your lower back, your knees, and of course all the things we're going to talk about today. Lemongrass, and again, it does come in a Vitality. Just know that it's warm. So if I recommend taking that lemongrass Vitality orally, you're going to want to either put it in a capsule or you're going to want to do it. And one of my favorite ways to take the hotter oils is to use just a tablespoon that's got a little bit of V6 or olive oil in there, and I put my oils directly in that, and then I take it off the spoon. That kind of slows the absorption so it doesn't get too hot in my mouth, because some of them, you know, oregano, tell me right now, how many have taken oregano straight and it's a little bit warm, a little bit hot? That's where you want to go in with that. So make sure you pop in and you say hello. You tell me where you are from and tell me if you are on today just because I'm on or if because you knew it was thyroid and adrenal health. Because thyroid and adrenal health, you guys, this is a class that I have been, I would say I've been teaching since 2007. It was one of those that as soon as I learned the information, I had to tell other people because I know that most of us don't really understand how those connections work. So I started teaching it a long time ago, and then we had the whole compliance thing, and I stopped sharing it because I wasn't sure how to share it in a way that you could turn around and share it again, because that is always my goal. Anything I share, I want you to be able to share with other people. Like, I want you to hit the share button right now. I want you to hit that share button, and I want you to tell everybody else because people need to know. So one of the things that I've really worked on over the past few years is how to be able to share compliantly on like all the things. And today we are talking thyroid, we are talking adrenals, and we're going to hit a couple of the other endocrine glands because they all chit chat together. I don't think you know that it's like a family. Those glands are this great big family, and they affect every single cell in your body. Every single cell is controlled by those hormones and things that we think there's something wrong with us. And it's really just the hormones having some issues. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. So get yourself cozy. I do want you to share this. If you are watching right now, I want you to hit the button and I want you to hit share because I want other people to be able to hear this. And then I want you to plan on listening to it twice. So the first time, because I'm a fast talker, people are constantly telling me, Shannon, slow down, I can't keep up. Well, that's the beauty with the video, because you know what? You can pause me. You can pause me. My husband wishes that he was able to pause me, but you can. You can pause me and you can take notes. So I want you to go into it with the plan that first time through, you are just going to listen, you're going to enjoy, you're going to let your brain do some absorbing. The second time you're going to go through, you're going to take notes, but you're also going to click add. You're going to get yourself added to our 21-day hormone reset. Today was the first day, so you have plenty of time to get in. Even if you're listening to this a month from now, you can jump in and just start on day one and go through it at your own speed, because all of the endocrine, they chit chat together. And when we try to balance our hormones and we just focus on one thing, like we focus on the fact that we're moody and I'm just going to fix the moody, or we focus on the cramps or the tender boobs or they can't get an erection, and we try to focus on one thing in isolation, we're not successful. And it's because we have to look at it as a family. So that's what I want to do for you today. I want to draw the picture of what's really happening in your body. So we have a whole cascade of hormones. So we we have our hypothalamus, pituitary, and pineal, and those are all in the brain. And I want you to think of the hypothalamus as like the dad. He's the one that has to give the big thumbs up on anything that happens. He has to say, yes, we can, no, we can't. That's kind of his little gambit. And then we have the pineal and the pituitary, and they chit-chat with each other, and one tells us to calm down, take a nap, drink some water, and the other one says, you know what, let's go, we got things to do, people to see, places to go. So they kind of run the thing together, because let's face it usually takes two moms to handle the situation in the house. It takes two to handle it in our body. And then we have things like our thyroid. Your thyroid is also attached to your parathyroid, and your thyroid, I want you to think of it as the big brother. That is the big brother. He is the one that is just kind of a little bit stubborn, a little bit set in his way. And then you've got your adrenals. Those are sitting on your kidneys. And I want you to think of those sweet little babies as the big sister. They're kind of bossy. They're like, this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. Oh, I'm having a bad day. And it's like sending these messages back and forth. And then we have our ovaries and our testes. But that's not all. We also have our neurotransmitters, which partner with the whole hormone cascade. If you look at tomorrow's post is going to break down in great detail all the different parts, because did you know that your stomach has a role, your intestines have a role in the hormones that are kicked out. You're so many parts and pieces, and we all always only focus on thyroid, adrenals, and all of our sex hormones. That's all that we talk about, but there's so many more. So I want to discuss how it happens. So when somebody is checking, they're like, man, I have all the symptoms of thyroid problems. I'm tired. My skin is awful. My skin is falling out. My skin is falling out, dear God. My hair is falling out. It's getting really, really thin. What is happening? My nails are breaking. I have no energy. I'm having fertility problems. Like, we have this host of things, and we go, when I look it up, it says that's my thyroid. But then you go get your blood work done, and they go, no, you're fine. Oh, fine. Gaslighting us. I'm telling you, average and fine. I need you to write this down. Being average or fine in a profoundly sick society is still sick. Like, I don't want to be average. I want to be healthy. I want to be optimal. And that's what I'm looking for in my levels when I'm looking at my thyroid levels or my adrenal levels or my testosterone or my estrogen. I want optimal, not fine. Oh, it's fine. If your husband says you look fine, how do you feel? No, I don't want to look fine. I want to look hot. I want to look great. I want to look beautiful. I want all those different adjectives. That's what I want to be described that way in my health as well. So when it comes to this whole thing and they check your thyroid, the first thing most doctors check is your TSH. But I want you to understand, remember that hypothalamus, that dad, and you got your moms and stuff. TSH is not excreted by your thyroid. Thyroid only kicks out two hormones. Well, technically three. It kicks out T3, T4, and RT3. Now, none of those are TSH. TSH is actually coming from your pituitary gland, and it is saying, hey, I need you to get active. I need you to kick out a little bit of T3. That's the mom. I need you to do the thing. I need you to clean the room. I need you to take care of everything. I need you to clean out from under the bed. And that brother, that bratty little brother, he's like, fine. And he kicks out T4. Now, TSH tells the big brother, kick it out. We need energy. And the brother says, here's a little T4. Now, T4 is a storage hormone. It's not the energy. When you're looking for that glorious response and the body feeling good and all of the things, you're looking for T3. T3 is the energy one. It's the one that gives us back that healthy skin and the hair growing and the nails and all the things. Did you know that every single cell in your body, like every single cell, has a receptor for T3? Has a receptor. But our body kicks out mainly T4. And T4 is a storage hormone. It is not activated at all. We have a lot of T4, but it has to have enzymes and cofactors to turn into T3, and it will only turn into T3 under certain circumstances. So if you happen to be stressed, anybody stressed? Comment in the comments. Stressed. I'm stressed. I live a stressed life. Anybody super, super busy? Anybody on a specific diet? You are on one of the crazy fad diets that has you either doing extremely low calories or even just calorie restriction, like the macros, where your calories are lower than what they need to be, but you've been on it for a really long time. Anybody on a low carb diet? All of those things, when we're on them for a long period of time, even fasting. Eat constantly fasting, it tells our body that we're under stress, that life is not optimal, that things are not going good, that things aren't smooth. And when that happens, the adrenals, those sisters that overreact, they kick out all the hormones. They kick out cortisol, and they kick out adrenaline, all of these high energy things, and we are stressed, even if we're not really in a stressed world. So maybe you were just watching a TV show that was all, or you were watching the news, world's coming to an end, and you got that stress. Your body does not know the difference between what we are watching on TV or what we are replaying in our mind over and over again, and whether or not it needs to kick out cortisol. But here's the kicker. If those sisters, those adrenals are kicking out the cortisol, guess what? Your body is in massive, oh my gosh mode. We can't do anything. And the minute it happens, T3 is blocked. So even if your thyroid, the energy guy, the metabolism guy, is kicking out the T3, doing what the mom said, say, here you go, I got it, I got it, I got it. The T3 can't get in. So how many times have you been fasting and doing the time restricted eating and just eating smaller calories? You're like, I'm doing all the right things, and yet you can't release the weight? It's because the metabolism, this guy right here says, well, I can't even put T3 in. That's why you have no energy. That's why you can't get the things done. That's why you don't want to do the things. That's even part of the reason why you're craving the carbs or the sweets, is because your body thinks something ain't right, and that cortisol is elevated. And as long as it's elevated and all the hormones are going crazy, your body can't get into that calm, cool, absolute energy where we can get the things done, and then it cascades. So it's not just the adrenals go in and they shut down your beautiful thyroid. They shut down all the things. They shut down your body's ability to poop. Because listen, if you are in a stress out world coming to an end, cataclysmic bear chasing you, you don't need to stop and poop. No reason to poop. How are you going to poop? We're trying to run from the bear, because that's the stressor that the adrenals think that we're under. So when we're talking about getting it all calm and chill, I've got a class coming up in 2 weeks, and it's going to be discussing the things that I changed so I could start losing weight, because I've lost almost 260 pounds at this point, and it was when I quit doing all of the massive fasting and the massive calorie restriction and the zero carbs, and now I eat food and I treat it as fuel, and my body isn't under that same stress. So we will talk about that in 2 weeks. You'll also get it in that 21-day reset. We'll cover some of that, those other hormones that kick out. But today I want to talk about, how do we take our body from that, we are being attacked by a bear? Because really, if you look at how the system was designed, we were created to have this great system to protect ourselves. Because if you went back in the Wayback Machine, and you were working in your field, and you are digging and toiling and doing all that, you built the cabin, you got the stuff, and you're out there doing a thing, and a bear jumped out, and that bear, you're like, oh my gosh, and you're going to take that hoe, and you're going to try to hit the bear, and then you're going to run as fast as you can and get back all the way to the cabin. Oh my gosh, I almost got ate by a bear. Like, I almost got ate by a bear. You don't even know. And in those moments, you were able to run fast, you were able to fight hard, you're able to do the things, but it takes your body 24, 48, 72 hours after that attack, after that bear came after you, to be able to get where your cortisol levels and your adrenaline levels are back down to basis. Because in that moment of massive stress, your body shuts down everything else. It shuts down digestion, because we don't need to be digesting a meal when we're running from the bear. We don't need to be pooping when we're running from the bear. We certainly don't need to be getting knocked up. Ain't nobody having sex when we're running from the bear. No, all of that gets shut off. But we are living in a chronic state of being attacked by the bear. Because remember, our brain doesn't know the difference. It sees all that. And when that cortisol and adrenaline goes high, even your hypothalamus, the hormones it's supposed to kick out, it just stops. It's like, what? No, I don't have time for that. I can't be kicking that out, because we're in an emergency state. It's an emergency state. It's an emergency state. So everything is in that emergency state. So here's some things I want to speak into your life. And again, we are going to break this down. You will have it in writing if you're a part of the group. I'm going through each system. And I'm going to tell you exactly what each system needs and how you do, what things block it, what things activate it, what things turn it off, what things turn it on, because it's so important to understand that. But right now, in this moment, I want to say there are some basic things that you can do. So when you are in a state of stress, I know this is one of the, I'm telling you, is that when I say it, some of you are going to click off immediately. When you are in that constant state of stress, you got to move. What did I say when the bear jumped out? I was going to fight, which used all these muscles, and I was going to run to get away. And it would take up to 72 hours for my body to get down to baseline. But did you know that just moving, jumping on your trampoline, getting your not your trampoline, your rebounder, walking, going outside and walking, those things, using your big muscles, those muscles use up the adrenaline. They use up the cortisol so we can come back down to baseline quickly. You can partner with things like your peace and calming. Tell me if you're addicted to peace and calming. Who's addicted? You use peace and calming all the time. If you really want your peace and calming to be more effective and bring you back down to baseline, walk while you use it. Get that roller out and rub that on while you are walking down the street, while you are pacing in your kitchen, walking, doing the thing. It's the reason why when somebody is frustrated, they're really upset, you'll see them tapping. So they're tapping their hand, they're tapping their foot, they're bouncing their feet, they're doing all of the wiggles because their body is trying to use up all that excess that is already kicked out. It's trying to use it up. We're just making it so much faster. So do your peace and calming. Here is my highest recommendation. In the 21-day reset, we are doing a 21 days of moving that's inside it, because every single hormone cascade in your body will work better if you're moving your body. Every single one of them. I'm sorry. I know we want to not have to move. I know people that they go out and they do their whole workout and they work out hard. They lift weights. They do that first thing in the morning. So they got it off the list. But did you know if you work out for an hour and then the other 23 hours of the day, you are sitting, you are working at a desk, you are not moving, did you know you are still considered sedentary? That's not me. That's just the science. You can look that up. That's science. We have to get up and we have to consciously move our bodies on the regular. The one thing that I did even when I was in the wheelchair was learning to move 5 minutes out of every hour. 5 minutes out. I just literally, that you always have a phone next to you. I know you do. It's near you right now. Set it to go off hourly, and when it goes off, get up and move for 5 minutes. So like I'll do squats for 5 minutes. I'll do, I started where I did just wall push-ups. So I'd get on the wall and I'd do push-ups because that's all I had. And then I could do it on a counter, and now I do it on a yoga stool. So I got some movement going on. I do bouncing. I do jogging in place. I slam my legs up and down, making sure I'm getting lots of hard pressure. We talked about that for testosterone. So moving for 5 minutes, especially if you feel like you are stressed out, if you are anxious and your heart gets racing and the best thing that you can do for you is exercise. I know you want me to tell you an oil, and I will share some oils that are great, but in the end, you got to move your body. You got to get up and move it so your body uses the adrenaline, it uses the cortisol, so we can lower it quicker. Can you lower it doing other stuff? For sure you can, but movement is always going to be your best. The other thing is getting quiet and breathing. So breathing in and holding it and releasing it. Breathing in, hold it, release it. That also helps us use that up, because our body goes, oh, if we were taking nice deep breaths, we must have already outran the bear. So we're not under the same stress because we wouldn't be able to stop. It tells our body we're safe, because that is the message we have to give it. And if you want to tie it to an oil, grab something like your lemon. Lemon does not get the clout she needs. She is a $10 oil that will change the game for so many different parts of your body. She's not just a sticker remover, you guys. Lemon, happy in a bottle, calm. Breathe it in. Throw in oils in your diffuser, but move the body. Breathing exercises, meditation. They have shown that you can lower the amount of cortisol and adrenaline just by closing your eyes, breathing, and doing a little bit of quiet meditation. What are you going to meditate on? I don't care. Water. on peacefulness, whatever calms you down on your future, something you want to do. Get calm. There's all kinds of stuff on meditation. Look it up. For those of you that just now went, oh, I'm a Christian, I don't believe in meditation, then you have not read the Word of God, because it talks about meditating on the Word of God, meditation over and over. I don't even know how many times it's in the Word, but it's a lot. Look it up. Prove me wrong. Anyhow, those are some things that you can do that get you quiet and use up the adrenaline. There's also some other stuff. You guys hear me? So I talk this. I don't think you ever hear me talk without saying you got to drink the water. You got to drink the water. You got to drink lots of water. Why do I say that in every single thing? Because I don't think you listen. You know why I don't think you listen? I love you, but every time I sit down and I do a one-on-one with somebody who's been doing all the things, so like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm not seeing anything, and I stop and I'll say, okay, so how much water did you drink yesterday? Oh, I have my water with me all the time. Listen, this is a carrying case, and I'm glad you're carrying it with you, but how much of this is getting in this? That's what I want to know. How much is going inside your body? Because you probably need to measure it. It's pretty interesting for most people when I say, I need you to, for the next 7 days, just measure it. I don't need you to increase it. I don't want you, just physically measure how much water you put in and how much water there is at the end, so you know your ounces. And most people, they are so dehydrated. They're just not drinking enough water. So I'm really going to encourage you, have your body weight in ounces of water every single day plus 20. Have your body weight in ounces of water every single day plus 20, because everything else that we talk about is going to work better. I am fully convinced that part of the reason why my skin, with losing 200 and almost 60 pounds, my skin isn't super saggy. It's not super wrinkly. Like, okay, I've got this going on. But I mean, overall, my skin looks really good, and I truly believe a big part of that is the hydration. I drink enough so that my body is able to restore into balance. So those are some things. Then specific, I want to say this. This little guy right here, we have Endoflex. Now, you guys have seen me talking about our Endoflex now for, how long have I been talking about it? Probably years. But over the past 4 weeks, I've really been talking about it more. So part of what I love about Endoflex, and this is the Endoflex Vitality, in the challenge, I have you opening your Endoflex, putting a couple drops under your tongue, 3 or 4 times a day, just a couple drops underneath your tongue, and you're going to partner that with lemon vitality underneath your tongue, and then frankincense vitality underneath your tongue. And the reason why I want them under your tongue, and I want them 3 or 4 times a day, is part of what they do is they kind of give you that your body's ability to chit-chat with itself. So that whole hypothalamus, pituitary, pineal, thyroid, parathyroid, adrenals, like all of those guys talking, it's just going to help kind of with that chit-chat, so that all of those beautiful messages are going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Because like in this beautiful body, you have things like nutmeg, which nutmeg is one of those that when you do a little bit of research on it, it's just loving and beautiful for your body. And you've got things like German chamomile. That's the one that's just chill out, calm down. It's okay. You're going to be all right. And what I love about Endoflex is it's in here. It's already in here. Like, you can take it and put it directly over the thyroid. You can rub it on your belly. You can do anything. You can diffuse this baby. It is amazing. But I really, if I can encourage you to grab just 1 or 2 oils during this challenge that you're like, you know what? I'm going to commit to eating those on the regular, because oils work different inside the cell than they do topically. So internal to topical, there is a little bit of difference how they work. And I really, really want to encourage you to eat your Endoflex underneath the tongue. It is a little bit warm. You'll feel it heat up, but it's not uncomfortable. It's fine. It's got your spearmint in there. It's got so many parts and pieces. So when you're thinking about what you want to do for your beautiful thyroid, your beautiful adrenals, and that whole communication things, these are ones that I think are really good to partner, because it just helps us to feel stronger in that way. Another one that I really want to recommend, especially when we're talking about your thyroid and your adrenals, is something called Thyromin. Thyromin is a supplement. I didn't get it out. Thyromin is a supplement that we are breaking down big time on day 3 of the cleanse. And it's going to take every ingredient and explain to you why it's in there. But I am huge on food first. Food first. Food before supplements. Supplements are supposed to fill in a puzzle piece, something that's missing that you don't usually get. That's what a supplement should be. It should not be in place of food. So some of the things that your thyroid, your hypothalamus, because remember they work together, and your adrenals need is protein. Protein is so important for your body to be able to make those different hormones. Part of what the particles that make different hormones, you need the proteins, you need the fats, you need those different amino acids. And when you have them, they're building blocks that your body can use to build it. Another thing that is in our thyromin that is so important is iodine. It's got seaweed in there. And that seaweed, when I say T3 and T4, those two molecules that your thyroid makes, T4 is the inactive, T3 is the active. The only difference between T3 and T4 is one iodine molecule. So it is 4 iodine molecules in T4. It is 3 iodine molecules in T3, the one that goes in and turns everything on for us. So understanding the importance of why we need iodine, and I did a whole series of this on my personal page on the importance of it, and we need in our thyromin and like in our nitro. I just talked about nitro. Nitro has 50% of the RDA. What the government recommends us to have is iodine just in the nitro. So if you're drinking 2 of them, you're getting them. If you're getting your thyromin, you're getting a little bit of that iodine. Now the world, according to Shannon, says we need a whole lot more iodine than that. And so I recommend also taking a supplemental iodine so that your body is getting enough. Like I think we need like 50 milligrams, but you do you, boo. But when it comes to iodine, if your thyroid doesn't have enough iodine rather, it can't make T3 or T4. So it can't even make the storage kind. But there's also something called cofactors. So for your thyroid to make those 2 hormones, it needs a couple cofactors in order for it to break off the bond. So it turns from T4 to T3, so it's got to lose a molecule. In order for it to do that, you need things like selenium, which, by the way, you can get from eating Brazil nuts. You need things like zinc, which you can get from food. So you can get all of these from food. But what I love about a thyromin is it has all those cofactors in there. It has the other bibbits, the other parts, so that your body gets the things that it needs. So when I just seen somebody say, well, I can't take thyromin, it caused my TSH to go off the charts. Understand, I am not a doctor. I do not play one on TV. I am not telling you what you should or shouldn't do. I'm telling you these are products that feed that system. So you have to do what works right for you and talk to your medical practitioner, whoever you're working with. They can run your numbers. We are doing a full day, one of those days on the 21 reset, on what test should you ask for. So most people, when it comes to their thyroid, again, TSH is checked, and that's the only real indicator that they decide. But since it wasn't really made by the thyroid, it doesn't tell us what's really happening. So your body could have elevated TSH because you didn't have a cofactor to turn it into the T3. So maybe your body is kicking out a lot of T4, but we didn't check T4. If you are stressed, and they are giving you a drug to make your body kick out T3, T4, but your body says, dude, no, because the adrenals are doing its thing, then what happens is that medication might make the numbers go up, but your body will actually create something called RT3, which is reverse thyroid 3, and reverse thyroid 3 fits into the receptor. So all those receptors, it fits like this. It goes, oh, there we go, but it's not active. It's reverse. It says, no, we got to chill. We are in a state of emergency. We cannot do all these things right now. We're just going to focus on this one very important thing. We're going to lift this car off of the kid, because that's what our body thinks is happening. So just because your blood work might say certain things doesn't mean it's really accurate either. This is why you got to go by symptoms. I stress this so much because you guys know I got issues. I got stuff going on. But I decide whether or not I'm doing better, not necessarily just by my blood work. I also go by how I feel. What is happening with my symptoms? If something I am doing is getting me really anxious, then maybe that one isn't for me. If something I'm doing, I feel like I'm really sleepy, I've been doing it for a week and I'm super tired, maybe that's not the one for me. So everything that we talk about is not for you. So you might be like, girl, I have done thyromin, it did not work for me. Then that's not for you. Don't do that one. Do something else. Play with the things. Maybe you just need that communication. Maybe you need the selenium. Maybe you need to eat some Brazil nuts. So that's the power of the series that we're doing, because we're going to dig into each thing. Like I said, the thyroid post, I've already written the thyroid post, and it is so much more in depth than I could ever tell you in a 30-minute online class, because there's so many parts and pieces. And that way you can look through it and go, oh, this right here, this is me, this is my missing thing. Or maybe this is what's blocking it. You're like, oh, I do that all the time, because there's certain things that will block the absorption. So not only can your cortisol and your adrenaline block it, and the RT3 block it from happening, there's different things that we can do that are chemicals that we're allowing in our body that are blocking the absorption as well. So this isn't a journey of, Shannon said, order this, take this, we're going to do it for 21 days, we're going to be perfectly perfect in every way. That's not how this works at all. This is, we're going to teach you about each of the symptoms, each of the systems and each of the symptoms and how they work together. And you're going to see you in one of the pictures. You're going to be, that is exactly me, Shannon, that is me. And then that might be where your starting point is going to be. Does that make sense? This is for you to identify not what you're going to do for the next 30 days. Friend, this is not a 30-day journey. Not what you're going to do for the next 60 days, but what you're going to plan on doing for the next 90 days and then another 90 days. We're talking 180 days of consistently tweaking it, eating that endoflex, doing your mineral essence that will come up in one of the other classes. Foundational, you guys, that food first. Ninja Red is food. I don't know if you guys get that or not, but it is food, and it has so many balancing parts for you. So if you're not familiar with that one, go into the same group, the 21-day reset, and we've got a whole section on Ninja Red and what's in there and why it is food and why it feeds foundationally so many different parts of your body. It is just so, it's amazing how our system works. But when we go, why is it like this today? Like, our grandparents and our great-grandparents didn't have all this. But how often were they attacked by the bear? How often? They had the drought and it was a horrible sensation. But then the rain came and life came back. For us, I don't know about you, but we have stressors that hit us, and then they hit us again 3 hours later, and then another stressor that hits us, and then we replay it over in our head, and then we watch the news, and then our friend unfriends us, and we're like, I'll unfriend you, I don't like you, and I don't like the political way, and we go through these stress, and that stress is up here, but most of it wasn't real. Most of it was perceived stress, but it feels so real, and it affects our brain, it affects our neurotransmitters, it affects our thoughts, it affects whether or not we can lose weight. If you are trying to lose weight and you're like, no matter what I do, I can't lose weight, I guarantee you stress is a part of that. I guarantee you that your body has said, oh, we can't lose weight right now. We can't have our metabolism doing what it's supposed to do. We are in a state of emergency. A state of emergency? No, you are hiding in the bathtub because the tornado might come. You don't have time for that. You're not cleaning the house. You're not doing dishes. No, the tornado is coming and you are in a state of emergency, and that is where you are living. And I just want to help you get out of the tub. I'm going to help you realize that the bear is gone. I want you to have that big, nice, deep breath. Because it really will help. And I know right now you might feel like I'm gaslighting you. You're like, Shannon, it's not as easy as just stress. Nope, it's not. There's a lot to it, but there's so many little bits that we can do. Get up and start moving your body. Use your oils regularly. Start taking that endoflex. I promise it will help. Drink your water. Make sure you're in that group and you are discussing the different blockers, because there's a lot of blockers. You're going to see some good things happening. All right, you guys, I am really, truly trying to keep these at 30 minutes. Our next class next Monday is going to be all about sex. It is going to be about that amazing sex life, the ability to have sex, the desire to have sex, all of the different things. We're going to go into it, and we're not going to be shy. We're going to say all the things. So if you don't like hearing about body parts and all the things, this might not be the class for you. All right, you guys, bless you. Please tell your friends, share. Let me see if I can end the video. That's always my problem. Yay.